The cords of the grave coiled around me. The snares of death confronted me. In my distress, I called on the Lord. I cried to my God for help. From His temple He heard my voice. My cry came before Him into His ears. And then it happened. The pain was so intense. It burned right through me. I was consumed. I couldn't stand it any longer. I felt as if I couldn't get a full breath of air. I didn't have very much strength left in me. I was knocked to my knees, and I heard God say, "What you're doing is not right." I grew up in a church, and I attended most of my life except for a short period of time in my 20s when I didn't think I needed that stuff anymore. And then about 20 years ago, I made a decision to accept Christ's work on the cross. Some weight was lifted, and I began to grow spiritually. I began to practice good church. I was helping out around the building. I tithed, mostly. I got involved with ministry projects. I even held some positions. All the while, life was happening, and I didn't even notice that the liar had begun to drive a wedge between God and myself. I held on to some habits from the past, and I figured that occasionally they were necessary. You see, I had a lot going on. I had a lot of responsibilities at work. I had a lot of people depending on me. The pressure of controlling my life and my family was ever increasing. I was a very busy man. Work, school, family, and church. So who could blame me for seeking a little downtime? I mean, after all, the economy was flat on its face. The political situation seemed to me like it was utterly hopeless. The degradation of society around me seemed very alarming. But I felt like I had it all in control. I just needed a little help relaxing. My habits were legal. I had prescriptions for all my medication. It certainly wasn't against the law to buy beer. The internet's free, right? And since when is having a little pleasure in life such a bad thing? However, over the many years, the frequency of seeking relief grew to a daily event. I was in denial about it harming my family or myself. I got to the point where I felt like I was losing everything. I had lost my zest for life, and I had even considered the unthinkable. My habits could not keep up with the pain anymore, and that's why I found myself on my knees. My life began to change as God began to remove my addictive, compulsive, and dysfunctional behaviors. God led me to a ministry right here at this church. It's called Celebrate Recovery. They had a process that helped me with my situation. And they told me that the road to recovery was not meant to be walked alone. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 and 10 say, "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their work. If one falls down, his friend can help him up. But pity the man who falls and has no one to help him up." Celebrate Recovery is a community where people are loved, cared for, and nurtured. As God began to recover my life, He also began to show me His perspective on my circumstances. My life is better now than it's ever been before. My relationship with my wife is stronger than it's ever been in the past. I'm a better father, and even recently, a grandfather.